Hi, my name is Thomas with Patrick Industries. Today we're here to discuss the EcoFlow Powerkit system that's installed in your Coachmen Cross Trail unit. To start off, we're going to talk about the solar options on this coach. On the roof up top, you have the option when you order for a 200 watt or a 400 watt panel setup on top. And then down here by the entrance door over here, we have the optional external solar port. So for those cloudy days where your unit might not be getting enough sun up on the roof, you can purchase a portable solar product to place out in the sunny areas. Now, jumping inside the coach, I'm sitting on top of the dinette over here where both our EcoFlow Power Hub as well as our battery are installed. So starting off, right down here we've got our EcoFlow Power Hub, and just want to run you through what we're utilizing in this coach in your system. So on the first port, we do have the alternator in. With this transit chassis on your Cross Trail, there is a secondary alternator factory installed, and that's exactly what we're tapping into. So while you're driving, your alternator will be charging your system. Past that, we have Solar 1 and Solar 2. That first solar port is for your factory installed roof panels up top, and that second port is for the external outside for any additional you may want to add on. Past that, we do have our battery cable coming in. Right here, we have our 5 kilowatt 48 volt battery. This is a automatic heated battery. So when colder weather comes around and or you have your unit in storage, this battery will maintain itself when it comes to temperature. Outside of that, we do have battery 2 and 3 for expandability. So right now with this 5K, we could go up to 10 and we could even go up to 15. Past that, jump back to the 48 volt battery. We want to touch on 48 volt to 12 volt in that comparison. So with our 100 amp hour in the 48 volt setting here, that would be roughly the equivalent to about 400 amp hours in the 12 volt setting. So with that, we can pack a lot of density into just one battery, save space inside the coach, and still allow you to run your unit for a good period of time. Past that, we have our shore power that comes in, our AC and DC out that feeds your distribution panel. We have our Cat 5 cable down there on the corner that runs to your EcoFlow controller that's installed over here. And outside of that, you'll notice a power button and an AC and DC turn on and turn off. So from both the controller, the Power Hub, and the EcoFlow app, if you install it on your phone, you are able to turn on and off the AC and DC, as well as power on and off the system completely. With that being said, this is a fully inverted 3600 watt unit. So your coach is fully inverted all the time. All right, now that we're going to go ahead and jump over to the controller. When you hit the power button on the right side of your controller, you'll go ahead and get open up to the home screen. You'll notice our system input and output section. On the system side of things, when you are plugged into shore and the system is charging, recharging time will display. When you are not plugged in and in use of the system, you will see the discharge time and runtime remaining. On the input side, you can quickly see what you got coming in on alternator, solar, and shore power. On the output side, you can see what your system is putting out and also be able to turn on AC and DC. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the system. Here, depending on how many batteries you have in your coach, you will get the temperature, voltage, and amperage of each battery and the charging percentages. As well, it'll still display your recharge or discharge time. After entering into system settings, you're going to notice your charge level, discharge level, and the smart generator on off. We aren't utilizing the smart generator, so we can ignore that last section and what it's set to. However, your charge level should be set to 100% and your discharge level should be set to 20%. After exiting system settings, depending on the temperature and environment, when you're entered into system settings, the battery temperatures will automatically pop up and you'll see the temperature of each individual battery as the automatic heaters are turned on. After finishing up with system, go ahead and exit all the way back to the home screen and we'll go ahead and enter into input. Within input, you'll notice you're able to turn off every single input, your alternator, Solar 1, Solar 2, as well as your shore power. This is an important step because if there's any current coming into any one of those inputs, the system will not shut down completely. So in order to shut off and close down the system completely, make sure all your inputs are turned off. Now we're going to jump into input settings where we're going to be able to look at our idle vehicle charging. We do have the option to turn that off or keep that on. So that way, even if you're not driving down the road and the vehicle is running, this system will get some charge. From there, we have our AC input, which should be set to 30 amps, our AC charging current, which should also be set to 30 amps, and our alternator input current, which should be set to 60 amps. We'll go ahead back into the home screen and go ahead and enter output. Now that we're in output, you can see that you still have that option to turn the AC and DC off from this menu, as well as you do have the ability to rename individual devices. That way you're able to monitor the power they're drawing and you know which appliance is pulling from the system. Now, if we jump into the output settings, we have two menus here. We have our GFCI, which will always be illuminated blue and will be grayed out, and it should always stay turned on. Below, we have our DC output voltage, which should always be set to 12 volts. Now we'll jump back to the home screen, and in the top right corner there on the monitor, you should notice the settings icon. Go ahead and click that. Now that we're in settings, we'll start from the top. We can go ahead and adjust the brightness of the control panel manually, or go ahead and have auto brightness turned on. So then during the nighttime when you do power on the panel, it does dim itself down. We can adjust the screen timeout, the unit timeout. We are able to change temperature unit from Celsius to Fahrenheit, whichever you prefer. On the log section, any errors that happen with the system will be saved and logged, and from there you can scroll through and notice anything that's wrong with the system. We have About, with which we go into About, we are able to check our software is up to date. And in order to do that, you want to scroll down a little bit further and make sure you have your controller connected to Wi-Fi. In addition to your EcoFlow Powerkit that's installed in this coach, we do also have a generator installed here on the outside. This generator will be utilized to charge back into your EcoFlow Powerkits, just like shore power would when you plug in. In order to start your generator, you're going to want to go ahead and shut your AC off on your controller and make sure that your DC is turned on. In order for this generator to start, it does utilize the DC output of our EcoFlow Powerkit. So do make sure when trying to start that DC is turned on.